before the Supreme Court now. The Committee of Administrators, COA, has mentioned the matter before the Supreme Court. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta mentions the matter before the bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. And then Solicitor General says matter will not be deleted. SG informs court about latest development. And so this is breaking news coming in now. Rhythm, to tell us more. Rhythm, what does this mean, the FIFA case being mentioned in the Supreme Court? Take us, could you put this into some perspective for us and take us through what it means?
Let's tell our viewers what has happened in the top court today, where the Solicitor General, the country's top law officer, has mentioned this matter before the bench of Justice Chandrachud. This is concerning the suspension on Monday of the Indian Football Federation with immediate effect that has been done by FIFA. The suspension, they've said, will remain in place until the AIFF, that's the Indian Federation that controls the daily affairs of football in India, is put back in array. Remember, earlier this football federation was run by former Chief Praful Patel, who stayed in office beyond his term. India, remember, was due to host the Under-17 Women's World Cup in football from October 11th to 30th. But today it seems that the 2022 tournament has been cancelled by FIFA. It has suspended the Indian Football Federation, and that is a massive, thing that has to be looked at. Immediately, the courts have been pushed into this case, where the Solicitor General mentioned the matter. Earlier, also on the 3rd of August of this month, the Supreme Court had given an order wanting a committee of administration to be looking into the matter, and there should be a proper employment of people who should be at the very helm of affairs of this body. But taking into account the seriousness of not having the Under-17 Women's World Cup to be held, FIFA having suspended the Indian Federation for football, this matter is now going to be urgently heard tomorrow. And this becomes extremely crucial to see, because earlier India was due to host the Under-17 Women's World Cup from 11th October to 30th of October. It had earlier, of course, the draw of the tournament was necessarily conducted earlier. It was supposed to be held in places like Bhubaneswar and other places. But let me also tell you, as this news is coming in, the bigger point is, will there be a resolution? Can the Sports Ministry help us find a solution? And will the elections be held as the FIFA mandates? Because the FIFA has said, that is the International Body of Football Federation, has said elections need to be held in a certain manner. But the Supreme Court has been told that they are going to await the outcome of the meeting by the centre with the officials of FIFA to see what had to be done earlier. But today, seeing the seriousness, Justice Chandrachud's bench has said, all right, list the matter tomorrow.
Rhythm, the FIFA has cited violation of rules. So what are the rules, Rhythm, that the FIFA has cited as having been violated?
Well, let me first tell you what happened in the last hearing. In the last hearing on the 3rd of August, when the case was to be heard, and it's supposed to be heard on the 17th itself, the Supreme Court had said we shall wait for this case to come up again. It had come up once more on the 11th of August. Earlier, the Supreme Court had seen that there's an August 3rd order by them, and the centre had moved for a modification of that order by which 36 state federation members and players were to elect an executive committee of the Indian Federation for Football. That is a All India Federation for Football. At the same time, we also saw the COA move a contempt plea that the government was misled by state associations, and they accused the AIFF president, Praful Patel, of misusing his position to undermine the orders of the court. So essentially what the court will be looking at tomorrow is whether their orders were violated, whether Praful Patel, who was the former AIFF president, has stayed on in office too long, whether there is this 36 players state federation that will really be a part of electing an executive committee of AIFF by 29th of August will also be seen. But remember, the top court's orders had held that the Football Federation will remain in place for 3 months till the COA finalize the constitution as per National Sports Code. For this reason, the International Football Body threatened to however, there is a code that is cited, a letter by FIFA. A letter had been written on 5th of August by FIFA suggesting the Supreme Court order was contrary to their own statutes, and they had threatened to suspend India's hosting Women's Under-17 World Cup for October, which they have finally now done. So we have to see that we need a constitution coming in from some sort of a semblance of an order from the Supreme Court first to ensure that the Women's Under-17 World Cup continues to be here in October. Second, we have to see who is behind the mischief of the FIFA writing a letter to us and saying that its statutes are violated by the roadmap that has been agreed. We've also seen the ASG in the case appear for the center, Balbir Singh, where he said a meeting had also going to be held with FIFA officials, and the purpose is to salvage the World Cup. So viewers, putting aside all the legal technicalities I'm giving you, the only news that is of relevance is FIFA, the international body, has suspended Women's Under-17 World Cup in India that was to be held in October. This was and could be a big setback for the Women's World Cup team, and that has to be salvaged. Keeping in mind that in October it should continue to happen here, the court is going to be looking at all the permutations and combinations coming in from the international football body and the advice they've given on how to have an executive committee in India looking into the matter.